Hi guys, welcome back. Thanks for joining me today. Okay, so today is going to be the very first Tech Tips Tuesday. I think that's going to be the name for now until I come up with something a little better. But yeah, I'm really excited to show you what I've been working on. Now today, the whole purpose of this episode is to show you some very cheap and cost-effective ways to build some of the tools and technologies within your business that's free and cost-effective. Okay, I'm going to show you something that I have implemented in my business that's completely free. What I mean by free is that it's totally legal as well. So nothing untowards here. Okay, so the challenge that I've been having recently is with a lot of the SEOs in relation to my website. Now, as you know, the websites is heavily reliant on Google. Okay, like most people these days use Google to find your websites. Now, if your websites are not structured and are not built according to Google specification, it's going to be very difficult for your website to be found. Now, what's happened is, during our recent audit of our websites, just to give you a bit of background, my website's been built by a web developer that I've recruited and hired in the past, and they've used WordPress. I believe if you are familiar with websites and website designing, WordPress will be one of the popular ones that's been used out in the market. So our website's built on WordPress. The problem is that if you don't understand the technology properly, no matter how great the tool is, it can be built to a very inefficient way, or can be built in a way where Google doesn't really like it. So I'll show you the problem that I have, and I'll show you some of the things that we've done to overcome it. And you may be able to use this in your business and be able to review whether or not this is also a problem for you and your website. So again, this exercise is to improve your website speed, efficiency, as well as the SEO scores that you're going to get from Google search engine. I'll show you my current website, and I'm going to explain to you the problems with it. Okay, so let me go to my current website. Okay, now this. So if you look at my website here, it looks pretty nice, pretty clean. Design's pretty clean. It doesn't look like there's any issues. Everything looks okay. The button works. Okay, we have a button. All these buttons are connected to Calendly. So all these buttons work. The video works. Okay. These videos works, and then all these things that you see here are all fine. There's no problems with it at all. Okay, so let's talk about the real problem with this website here. So if you take a look at the back end of the website, what you'll see is a really big mess. So this is in the head section here, and look how many lines of codes there are in just the head section. Now this head section is to really set up your web page to tell Google and the Google crawlers to check out and understand your website and see what's built in it. So it understands what your website's all about, all the components, all the tools and everything that's been used on the website. Okay, and look how many lines of codes there are. Now, a lot of these lines are actually minimized as well. There's just so many lines of code in this header. And the reason why you'll see this many lines of code is because what's being used to build this website are page builders. And page builders are notorious for just adding a lot of bloat to your website. Okay, there's just a lot of bloat. So these are all called bloats. And the problem with this is that because there's so many codes and so many lines of code, Google takes a long time to go and index and read through your page and tries to understand all these lines of codes and tries to understand what it all means. Okay, and it's really all of these lines of codes is really just unnecessary, and it's only there because the page builders is trying to trying to make it easier for you to build these websites using just clicking tools, drag and drop tools. And the downfall with that is that it just adds a lot of bloat. The convenience of the drag and drop to create your website, you take the hit on the back end with performance in relation to SEOs. And if you scroll down, look how many lines of codes there are in the body. In the main section, there's just so many lines of codes. It's just insane, if you can see it. Look at that. Just so many lines of codes. Okay, there's just heaps and heaps and heaps of codes. And these are like lots of scripts that's been added, a lot of additional, what I mean by scripts is just a lot of additional external, codes and libraries that gets added. If I can just keep opening all of these lines of code, like what you see is that are just lots of lines of code that's not even like expanded yet. They're all hidden, but there's lots of ones that looks like these. Okay, and again, the problem is because of the tool, the drag and drop tool, it just adds a lot of these bloat. Now, if I can kind of give you an analogy of what all of that means, is this. Now, I want to compare what you just seen with my current website and compare that to what we worked on and what we fixed up. Now, here is the updated website. It's still in development mode, but this is just to give you an idea of what's been done. So everything looks very similar. All the components looks very similar, almost identical. So we really try to recreate everything. All the buttons still works. Look at this. Everything looks like it still works. Everything looks fine. But the really cool part is if you look at the back end, I'll show you the back end. And look at the head section. That's all there is. If you can see that. How many lines are that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 lines. 14 lines for code. Compared that to my existing website, there are like hundreds of lines of codes. Look at how many lines of codes there are. There are just so many, hundreds and hundreds. So 14 lines compared to hundreds of lines. Okay, and that's the difference between an efficient website and a non-efficient website. Okay, and then if you look at the body is very nicely structured. You can see that in the body it has the nav bar, and then it has the banner section, it has the wrapper, the contents area. Inside the contents area has the how it works, the carousel, and then there's a getting started section here, brands we work with, and then about our company, testimonial, all the different sections here. It's clearly laid out, very, very nice and clear. If you go to my old one, if you go to the body, if you remove that, you look at the body, you can't even tell where things are. I think maybe that's mobile version, and then there's some forms. Yeah, it's just impossible to tell where all the components are, like which part of the website are these do these codes belong to. Really, really impossible. And if it's impossible for you to understand, what these websites are, like what the codes are on this website, it's going to be very difficult for Google to know as well. Okay, and then if that's the case, they're just going to give you a low score, because if it's difficult for the search engine to understand what your website's about, well, it must also be very difficult for the users to also have a good experience for being on your website as well. And now I just want to give you an analogy as to what it all means, and why that actually matters. Okay, so I want you to imagine that this is a map. Okay, this is a map of what Google sees. Now, they have a user that is traveling along a road. Okay, and Google's job is to find these users the location of what they're looking for. Okay, let me see if I can bring this up. Okay, their job is to find the location of where the users are. Now, if you imagine this is your main road, this is your highway here, okay, and in this highway you have roads and off streets, and you find a big corner here that might be the big M, the McDonald's sign, and then you have another corner section here that might be KFC, and the users and Google is able to go through here and able to direct your users, the users to these websites very easily, because McDonald's and KFC's website makes it very easy for the users or Google to find them. Okay, now imagine the website that you saw earlier, our website that you saw earlier, with all the junk that's in it. What the equivalent of that is hiding your website in a back street, right? Imagine you have a back street here, and you have a back street here, and then it goes into here, and then inside here you have little side streets and little dead ends, and your little website is right there. This is you here, and Google has to find a way to direct the users in there, right? Maybe there's another street here, back street there. Google has to find a way to bring your audience to you, and maybe all these streets are like dead ends, and it's difficult for Google to take your users there. So that's what happens when your website is inefficiently built. It's very difficult for Google to show your audience where you are, because when it tries to go through your website and tries to look through all the codes and try to understand it, and tries to understand where you should be positioned, where you should be located, it's a big mess. And that big mess is the same as the map that I just showed to you. That's what Google sees. So the cleaner and the simpler and the more straightforward your websites is, the better it is that you'll be found, and the better score that you'll have in terms of SEO. Okay. So let's move on to the tool that we're using. Okay. So I'll show you the tool that we're using. Okay. So the tool that we're using is called Understrap. And Understrap is derived from the name underscores and bootstrap. Now, a lot of you may be familiar with Bootstrap. Now, Bootstrap is very popular because it makes it very easy for you to style your website because there's a lot of built-in default settings for your stylings already. It's a very big framework that's used by Twitter. Okay, and Twitter made this available for the wider public to use, and I find it amazing. The other component of Understrap is underscores. Now, underscore is a theme. It's a starter theme built by hundreds of different developers, and they've put in over 1,000 hours. Okay, 1,000 hours together. They put in 1,000 hours to create the starter theme. And what's included are a lot of these very important features. For example, you have your 404 templates. There are also different tags and different header functions and navigation scripts. So a lot of these default things that you would need for your websites are already built for you. You don't have to do it again. But the amazing thing about it is that this underscore is very light. It tries to be as light as possible while providing you with a really good head start. So Understrap is an amazing tool that combines underscore and bootstrap together to give you the best of both worlds. A very lightweight, very well written starter theme, combining that with Bootstrap, which is a very useful framework to style your website. It just speeds up your website development by 1,000 times. Now going back. Now going back to this Understrap, and so Understrap's already built into WordPress. So if you install WordPress, you'll be able to find them in the plugins area. Or another way that you can do it is to look it up in Understrap Git. And if you go there, you'll be able to download the source code for it, and you can start developing there. Now we built our theme on a child theme. Okay, and the benefit of that is that whenever Understraps updates their theme, it doesn't affect the work that you've already done. So you can also go and find Understrap child theme and Git. If you type that in, it should take you to the Understrap child, and you can download that. Okay. Now, once you install it, what you'll find is that the folder of the website is just really, really nicely laid out, and it makes it very, very easy for you to start developing. So here's the parent folder. All of these folders in the parent folder practically mirrors everything in the child theme folder. So the way that they do it is that if you want to override anything in the parent theme, all you need to do is take a copy of the file that you want to override and paste it in the child theme in the exact same location. And once you do that, it's able to grab that updated copy and incorporate it into your website. Okay, so here are some of the items that we have tried to override with the parent theme. Some of the customized items there. We also overrode some styling some styling items. So we built a whole SAS folder structure here with all the components that we want. Abstracts being our variables and mixin. Now, so yes, this does require you to know a little bit about HTML and some basic coding, HTML, CSS, PHP. It does require you to know a little bit about coding. But if you do and you're willing to put in a little bit of work, you'll find amazing benefits, taking on this tool, because it's just so clean and so easy to use from a development point of view. So I'll give you an example of what that looks like. Now, my web page, this is pretty much what my web page looks like. So inside my web page, it has a header section. It has, as you can see, the navbar section, the banner, how it works section, the marketing magnet, the getting started section, the brands we work with section, our company section, testimonial, and then the footer. That's how our page looks like, and that's the code, and that's it. Now, this whole entire construct here lays out what our website looks like. It lays it out. It actually builds this. Okay, this is what you see. And the amazing thing is that because this whole entire page is broken up into components, we can reuse these components anywhere we want. So let's say we have a how it works section. You take a copy of this. You say, I want that one, and for whatever reason, so here's the how it works section. And for whatever reason, you might want another copy of it, maybe down here after our company section. Let's go to our company section. You want to paste it. Yeah, you want to paste it down there. Okay, so you have the how it works section on top, and you want it to show it again because you're really proud of it, and you want to show it twice. Now, here's the how. Again, I want to show you how it works sections here, and you scroll down. Our company's not there now. If I'm going to refresh the website, and the how it works section's still there, and look at this one. The how it works section is down here again. It just adds the component right after our company section. So see how you're able to reuse the component very, very easily. What's also really, really cool is that this this website, this template also uses font awesome icons. So if you look at these icons here, all these pictures here, they come from Font Awesome. So Font Awesome is a very popular library that contains all the fonts that you see, that's used, all the icons that you see. And you go to here, it's completely free. There's a free version and there's also a pro version. I find that most of, for what I need, the free is more than enough. So you go into here and you just look for the icons that you want. Maybe you want sports or something like that. Type it in and you'll see a lot of the sport. You have your football, your soccer, your bowling ball, and you can use this. Let's say I want to use this one here, this picture here. I want to use this icon here. And so I'm just going to take this FAS and I'm going to put into my template here. So because I've structured it in a way where I can look at the components and I can look at the how it works section. I'm going to go to section, how it works section. And in here, I'm going to say, instead of the desktop, I'm going to say FA football, and save that. And when I go back to my website and refresh it, look at that, the icon change to the football. Yeah, just like that. And that's the amazing thing about this font awesome and this theme. It's connected to a library that's really popular and really easy to use. And I can use any icons in here that I want. Maybe I want this one. Let's see what he says. The FA Skiing Nordic. So FA Skiing Nordic. And when I do that and I save and I refresh my page, you see that gets updated again. And wherever I update it, the code automatically gets updated wherever that component sits. So it gets updated in all of your website. Now, if you put this How It Works section on multiple pages, all of the styling, all of the contents of the codes all at once, and wherever it sits, it gets updated automatically as well. So by cleaning up your website, so what you're effectively doing is taking your website there, that's hidden in the corner. Now imagine all the users going in here, trying to make all the wrong turns and trying to look for where you are. You're effectively taking your website and you're putting it on the main road. So you're saying, hey, I'm cleaning it up. I'm going to make it super easy for you to find me. I am here. This is you. You're right there. The same as KFC or McDonald's makes it very easy for Google to find you, to help the users find you. So that's the amazing thing about Understrap. It gives you the ability to break up your websites, to make it really clean, and it makes it really easy. And everything that I've shown you here are all free. To set it up, it's not so difficult. All you do is you download the theme. The theme's free. The members on Understrap are amazing. They answer all your questions. And there's a very live, vibrant community out there developing Understrap. I just want to add that I'm not endorsed by Understrap in any way. I just wanted to let you guys know how much I love it and how much I found it to be really valuable for what we're doing. So by building it, we ran a lot of tests and simulation, and it's just so fast compared to what we currently have right now. So I guess I hope you saw the benefit in building up your websites correctly, building it up in the most efficient way, and also making sure that you have a good starting point for your website. If these codes that you see me working with seems quite advanced to you, I do have another recommendation, and that recommendation is to use a drag and drop tool, but this drag and drop tool that's available on WordPress is very light. Okay, it's still very good. It's just not as light as I would want it to be, but it still does an amazing job, and it still gives you like super fast and amazing speed as well. And it's called, I'll bring it up for you. So the alternative of using Understrap is Cadence. Now I found Cadence to be quite amazing. The speed and the code efficiency in the back end is quite impressive as well. Now I highly encourage you to check it out. It also talks about a lot of the things that we talked about, whereby it tries to keep the code as efficient as possible, and trying to follow a lot of the best practices that we looked at. So Cadence, if you don't want to touch any codes, Cadence is the way to go. Okay, now so if you have any question, if you have any other suggestions or other ideas, please leave a comment below. Otherwise, like the page and subscribe. It will really help me out. But until next time, thanks for joining, and bye for now. Bye.